Grand Rising, Jackson, Mississippi. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing well today. Yep. So, Monday morning, another Monday. Yep. It's the 20th of July. You know, another hot one. It's gonna be a scorcher. Nevertheless, man, it's July. You know what I'm saying? July going into August. You know, you know. Yeah, no doubt. Mm. Yo, yo, the 18th was my born day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We all and look, we still was working in this house. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. Um, I'm still learning this bash scripting and everything. You know what I'm saying? Regardless whether it was my birthday or not, I'm still working. Everybody wanna, you know what I'm saying? Look, I appreciate, you know, I don't knock nobody celebrating their birthday and everything, but when you got things to do, you need to do them. You know what I'm saying? I don't let no holiday, no birthday, none of that stuff deter me, distract me, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when my life ain't what I want it to be. You know, if your life ain't what you want it to be, why are you celebrating? Why are you celebrating stuff that ain't necessary? That could wait. Well, you know, they say, well, you only live once, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I'm like 50 Cent. Either get rich or die trying. You know what I'm saying? That whole concept for me hit home for me. Either get rich or die trying. A nigga ain't gonna a joke ain't gonna tell me, yo, I ain't try. Nah, I die trying. For real. So, but teach his own. I'm made different. You know what I'm saying? I'm made different. So we still running this. We were still learning these bash scriptings, and you know what I'm saying. And I kind of pivoted and switched over to Microsoft PowerShell because, like I was talking about it before, Microsoft PowerShell. Microsoft is the leading operating system in the world. We know that. You know what I'm saying? Businesses, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Linux is operating the higher devices. You know what I'm saying? Linux is like standing. It's like in the background, but as far as popularity is concerned, nah. Windows got it hands down. So I said, well, let me rock this PowerShell because, like I said, PowerShell is very, very powerful. It's a very powerful command line, you know. And I didn't really understand that until I was reading some parts of my book. But it's a very powerful, and I was looking at some tutorials too. It's a very powerful operating system. I mean, not operating system, but command line. And everybody, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's that dark screen with the blinking light. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm rocking with. That's what I'm saying. A lot of folks scared of that, you know. But nah, I'm just, so I pivot into that. Because I'm gonna tell you why I pivot into that. Because a lot of the things that I'll be doing is on Windows. You know what I'm saying? Because I still work with Windows, but and it's more powerful and more, you can do things faster from the command line than you can just with the regular GUI, the graphical user interface. So I just started pivoting into Windows. I was kind of like doing a parallel lesson to where I'm learning if statements in Bash. I already know if statements in for loops in Linux, but in Windows I'm learning the if statements and the for loop statements. But it's not called for loops. It's called for each statements. It's for each loops. You know what I'm saying? In the Windows part. So I'm kind of parallel my learning, you know what I'm saying? But I do faithfully bash on the weekday, and I do on the weekend. I do the windows. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I'm like this. If I got the concept, then everything else should be, and it's true, and it's working out. I understand. I understand the concept of the for loop. So the for each statements is it's just you got to type it in differently, but I understand it's the same concept. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so that's working out. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to we slow motion that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to give it no time schedule or when I learn this because I want to be very very good at what I do. I want to be like 10. I want to 10x this thing. I want to 10x it. You know what I'm saying? Because but right now I got the one exit now. I got to crawl before I walk, and that's what you have to do. You got to crawl before you walk. When anytime you're doing something, you know what I'm saying? But and so I'm just kind of easing along, trying to make sure that all my ducks is in a row. Because, like I said, when you totally blind, you're looking at things differently. I got to look at the way I got to count the spaces inside of a sentence. You know what I'm saying? When you write down I call it a sentence, but it's called a string in script language. But when you writing out a script, you got to count the spaces because the spaces will throw you off, and that's whether you sighted or you blind. You got to know how many spaces it's going to take before I even type in with an if statement. How many spaces do I need before I type in an echo statement? How many spaces do I need? You know what I'm saying? You got to know that. So, that's more, it's real tedious. The computers don't play. They're very, very mathematical. And there is a mathematical equation to that. I don't know what it is, but it is. Because if it's like that every time, there's got to be something mathematical to it. It's got to be. It's got to be. If that is the same every time, it's got to be something more to it than what it just did just because it's just that's the way it is. No. It's something mathematical because this is computers we talking about. Ones and twos. Well, not ones and twos, but I'm talking about zeros and ones. So, but that's what it is. That's what it is. So I have to you have to really like understand and think outside the box when you're doing something like this because everybody's going by the status quo. For me, nah. I've always been an outside the box thinker. So you gotta understand. I don't care. I'm a computer kid. I'm a computer student. I've been a computer student since I was in the 3rd grade. Nah, I ain't trying to hear it. And we was always taught to think outside the box. Cause they used to they taught us on this thing called logo. Logo was like a little turtle. It was a little thing that looked like a turtle. You know what I'm saying? They called it a turtle, but they said it's a turtle. And you had to program that turtle to move the way you wanted to move. And then you had to write a program for it. Whether you wanted to make circles, you wanted to make certain things or whatever. You wrote program and you had to think outside the box. That's what I liked about logo. Logo made you think outside the box. It made you change your screen, different colors, and it made that turtle do what it do. You was able to change the lines of the turtle, change the screen, change the turtle color, and then it showed you how to multiply the turtles. So it was a very very outside the box program that you had to use. So, but that's what we learned when we was in school. And then Apple came up with their version of logo, which it was like a little triangle. You know what I'm saying? It was whack. So I don't like Apple right now to this day. I don't like Apple right now to this day because of the crap that they had with their computers. I hated it. I hated their graphics. I hated everything. But they innovated. They was the one with them They started with those what they call PCI slots, those expansion slots. They started that mess. They started all of that because when I worked on the computer, there was a little small little keyboard. It was just a keyboard and had all these ports. You know what I'm saying? And a port for the disk drive. And at that time we called it a disk drive. It was a port for the disk drive. It was Atari 8. We started on Atari 800, and then we started on Atari 800 XL. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like an Atari 600 XL. You know, then you know what I'm saying? But then Apple came and they came and messed it up. I can't stand Apple. I can't stand Apple. I can't stand it. I'm serious. I can't stand Apple to this day. Because I didn't like the graphics. I was comfortable with the way Atari looked. The Atari graphics to me looked really, really, you know what I'm saying, animated, and it was very, very, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but the keyboard for Atari was just one keyboard. The whole processor, everything was inside the keyboard. You know what I'm saying? There was no such thing as a tower, you know what I'm saying? Memory modules, and all that stuff. You had a silicone chip in it, but it was embedded into the board. I opened up one of them boards before. One of them keyboards before. I know what's inside of them. That's what inspired me to go into computer engineering. That when I did that, that's what inspired me. Hold on, let me get up. Let me go see my door closed. I just couldn't remember if I closed my door. Anyway, but that's what inspired me though. That's what inspired me to do to go into computer engineering. The very first day I opened up that Atari XL. It was the 800 XL I opened up, and we looked at it. And man, I said, I wants to do that. I wants to do that. And I remember when what added more fuel to the fire was when I went to junior high school. When I went to junior high school, man, listen. It was this guy, he came in, this white guy came in. It was like we had like what's called a career day. And the white guy was talking about, yo, if you know how to fix a computer, they will send a limo to your house, and all you got to do is get in a suit and tie in a briefcase and have all your tools in your briefcase and act like you like a businessman. And they'll send a limo to your house because you're trying to fix their computers. And I never thought that right there would be. I mean, that could happen to me, but I say that's possible. I say because if I know that, man, I know I'll be a bad son of a gun. That's basically what that whole thing was about. You being good at what you do. You know what I'm saying? If you're so good at what you do, they'll do whatever they can do for you. They'll send somebody out for you, come fix their computer. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I know things has changed now. I don't quite sure. Maybe they might do it, and maybe they might still do it, but I know things has probably changed now because you know everything is innovating to this AI and these data centers, and I don't know what it's going to become of it. But computers, desktop computers and laptops and stuff like that, it's far in between people coming out to fix them. You know, a lot of them taking them to the shops and you know just buying brand new ones and throwing them away and treating them like toasters. You know, like you used to treat a toaster like that. One side half of one side work, you just throw the whole toaster away. Well, that's the same thing folks are doing with these computers. The same thing. So, you know, I'm just used to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just used to it. I'm not, you know, but my point is that when you're good at something, folks is gonna want to people value you more when you're good at something. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I want to be good at something. I want to be so good where people have to take a second look at me because I am blind. I am totally blind, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I want people to take a good look at me. I want them to take a second look at me. Be just like this. Yo, that dude nice. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I want that type of response. I ain't playing either. And I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I want somebody to be like, yo, that cat nice. Yo. You know what I'm saying? It's just like for example, I put in my resume for the zoning board, right? Here in Jackson, right here where we at here in Jackson, right? I did a, you know what I'm saying? So, and look out for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Make that happen for me. Try to put in your 2 cents and send some letters out to somebody. Try to get me on. You know what I'm saying? Try to put Raphael Bird on that zoning board, man. On that, you know what I'm saying? On that planning board, rather. You know what I'm saying? Put him on that planning board. You know what I'm saying? Cause but what I'm saying is that I'm like, I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking with the stuff that I've been dealing with in the past. I'm thinking that they probably like, well, nah, we don't want to put this blind cat on here because he can't read. He can't read on maps and everything like that. But maps got digital. They got digital coordinates that I do understand. They can put that joint. They can put it on a document. I can scan it and run it and understand everything. Cause I read everything line by line anyway. I don't skip over nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't skip over nothing. But my point is that I've been dealing with that, and I'm like, maybe they trying to slide slick, be like, nah, we don't want to fool with this cat, cause you know what I'm saying? He don't got no eyesight, whatever the case may be. And I'm not, look, hey, it is what it is. I'm not finna change the way I am. 52 years old. I'm not finna change. I can't change. It's not that I can't change. I'm saying I'm not the type. I wasn't born. I wasn't born to be something that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with you. You are who you are. That's what makes you unique. The mold that you was made from. There's nothing else. There's no other mold like it. So I can't take the shape of another mold. It's impossible. What you see is what you get. The faculties of my brain still computes the way anybody else's faculties of their brain still computes. I still understand and I still configure things out, and I still have an astute opinion. You know what I'm saying? I still have an astute opinion. And I am clear. So they're gonna do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Folks downtown, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna put whoever they want in there, whatever the case may be. But I'm boisterous, and I'm not finna just willy nilly, just vote on anything. I seen how that planning board thing works. I seen it in other states, in other places. I know how it works. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a body of folks, like council or council committee or J-Train Paratransit Committee, or not Paratransit, but council committee or board of supervisors. It's like the same thing. They got a panel of folks, makes decisions. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so what's going on with Jackson? I hope I hope you had a good weekend. I hope your weekend went well. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Whatever problems, whatever you encountered, hope you got them resolved. You made it this far, so we're gonna start off another week, and let's hope we can get it through this week. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? I really hadn't, you know, uh, they really got a lot of stuff going on here in the city of Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up? What's up with that outbreak they got going on? You know what I'm saying? With that lettuce outbreak that he talked about. Now they saying, that the part the lettuce that they found this is crazy. They said the lettuce they found it. They supposed to have found it in. It was it wasn't even in there. Y'all pull all that lettuce off the shelves. Y'all don't know where the junk coming from. They don't know where it's coming from. They don't know. They don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? They don't know where it's coming from. They don't know what food it's in or nothing. They just picking something out willy nilly, messing with the Mexican folks. Mexican folks probably ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? They let us. And I just said, man, that's crazy. So it is what it is. Yeah. I really ain't got nothing to talk about in terms of the news, whatever, because like I said, they it's the same old stuff that you done heard of, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I do appreciate though, that we gonna have some new police officers on the streets here in the city of Jackson, and that's a plus. I think that that crap that they used to be on back in the days, where they would have about 50 of them on, and then they weed all out, be like 15 left. You know what I'm saying? Now they graduating everybody. You know what I'm saying? And cause they need people. They need people. You know what I'm saying? Watch my nephew come home from the military, yo. He can't. That's my nephew too. I'm doing another stint. He about through. My nephew been in that joint since he come out of high school. He went to West Point. He said he gonna do another stint. He gonna talk about he gonna do another stint. Man, come on, man. But I guess look, I understand. If anybody understand, I do understand. When something get in your blood, it's over with. It's over with. When something gets in your blood, it's over with. That's with any and everything that you're doing. When something gets in your blood, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, when I lost my eyesight, I ain't gonna front. When I got sick, got sick, and I was driving. I was driving a truck, and I just got sick, and I just said, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna shut it down. So I shut it down, whatever, got myself well, boom, boom, boom. Then, you know what I'm saying, the coronary eye disease, boom, boom. And boom, my eyesight went out, you know what I'm saying? So, boom. I'm like, dang, man. I was like, man, I don't even want to hear a truck no more. I don't even want to hear a truck no more. But, it's just like I said, when something gets in your blood, it's in your blood. But let me tell you this, just like with these computers, everywhere I lived, I've always had a computer. And I never paid attention to that until when I lost my sight. Because I had to ask myself, what can I do? What else can I do besides driving an 18-wheeler? I knew I had the air conditioning. I am a HVAC technician. You know what I'm saying? I went to school for that, and I was like, well, and see what I did, I was on the troubleshooting side of things, but I knew that there was going to be pushback with that too, even though I do have the certification. I know that there's going to be pushback with that, so I just said, well, I really don't want to deal with pushback, you know what I'm saying? And so I said, well, so they was offering a computer engineering class at the Career Development Center over in West Jackson. Well, over here in West Jackson. I live here in West Jackson. So I said, I hope I don't get no pushback. I was like, yo, I'm learning. I'm trying to get yo. Let me tell you something. When I went into that computer engineering thing, it was very, very different for the instructor that when I walked up in there. Everybody else was up in there, you know what I'm saying, with hindsight. I'm the only blind cat up in there. But when I left, I was at the top of my class. When we had groups, everybody wanted to team up with me. You know why? Because I was the best. I was the best in the class. I used to bring in projects. Nobody else brought in projects. I brought them in. No lie. I brought in all the projects. Yo, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to drop this. We're going to drop this. We're going to drop this. Let's put this RAM. We're going to put these RAM sticks in here. I brought all the projects in. At that time, I was working a 9 to 5. I would take my project, bring my project to work, pick my project up, take my project to school because I get dropped off from work to school. And I'd be sitting there chilling. Get up as soon as instructor come in, go on there, go walk up the stairs, go up there, go to class, boom, boom, and I start my project. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be working on the project. So, yo, if I can do it, it can be done. This can be done. You know, there's no excuse. If I can do it, then what's your excuse? What's your excuse? I can open up a computer or a desktop or a laptop. I don't do phones, so I ain't finna do no. Don't ask me about no phones. That's tedious. Don't worry about it. I'm good. Peace. Peace. I ain't finna do it. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I ain't finna do no phones. I ain't finna do no. I ain't finna do no books. None of them. What they call it? Not the net books, but the tablets. Nah. Peace. Don't worry about it. I ain't finna do it. So, but I digress. Let's talk about. Let's go back. I want to go back to these police officers. But like I said, I'm glad that the police officers is back on the they bring the police force back. You know what I'm saying? Put more police officers back on the streets, because I'm gonna tell you something. I really hope that they get this budget together. I really hope they get this budget together, because I'm not quite sure she's got a budget, but man, I tell you the truth, they taking money, they shuffling bread. They shuffling bread. I'm telling you, they taking bread out of different departments, like maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, from that each department, and putting it over here in the police. You know what I'm saying? Folks don't know I can hear, don't think I can hear, but they're hiring for dispatchers. I'm gonna try to see if I can get one. Hopefully I can get on one. You know, being a dispatcher, police officer. You know, it's police department, whatever the case may be. But as if they got a budget for it, I'm definitely gonna try to apply and try to get. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that they got a budget. You know, they got a budget for these police officers. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I was looking at Facebook yesterday, and somebody was talking about that they had been looking at them data centers coming in here to Jackson. That I was looking at Facebook yesterday. It was talking about the over there where Lake Hyco is. That, you know, that's where I guess that's where they want to put it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? They had been talking about this. And I'm just kind of curious. I'm curious to know. You know, it seems like everything falling in line. That data center coming. That 6-month moratorium that the city council passed don't mean diddly squat, because I give it 90 days. If they devise a plan, they're gonna be right back in the session. Watch. Because if they devise a plan, a real comprehensive plan for the city in terms of getting the city prepared, terms of, you know, I'm talking about physically prepared, you know, trucks inbound, outbound, uh, utilities, readiness, all of that, environmental readiness, everything. If they get that stuff prepared, it's over with. I'm telling you, if they have if they come up with a plan to adhere to to certain demands, not demands, but certain demands, it's over with. You can forget about it. I'm telling you, I give it 90 days. I'm gonna give it 90 days. I ain't even gonna give it that 6 months, man, moratorium. They're gonna be right back in session. The city council gonna be right back in session. They were like, oh, okay, we got this plan. Somebody gonna come up with something. They're in the mix right now as we speak. They're in the mix. Whenever you get this video, it don't make no ding dong difference. Whenever you get this video, they're gonna be in the mix. They're gonna be planning. They're gonna be planning to make sure that they can meet the demands of the residents and of the city council. Because that's the resident. They represent the resident. You. You know what I'm saying? If they get that, it's over with. They're going to be right back in the session. And they're going to pass it. And they're going to commence the building. I don't think they're going to build one data center, if you ask me. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because the city is strapped for cash, according to the mayor. According to the mayor, the city is strapped for cash. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I said. It's what he said. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. He said we strapped for cash. So a tax incentive, that's one of the highest tax incentives that you're going to do. They said, but some of the corporate people are gonna be like, well, it's gonna give the city a good look. How? How are you gonna put a something in there where they're only gonna offer 100 to 200 jobs, if that? Might be 50, might be 10. Who knows? I don't know what that data center gonna entail. How many jobs it's gonna employ? But if the folks that they gonna employ probably gonna be it's gonna be out of towners anyway, probably. Who knows? They ain't gonna have my black tail. Believe that. I'm keeping it 1,000. And I've probably been unmastered Linux by then. Which I plan to, but that ain't the reason why I want to master Linux. But I'm just saying, that's how long this is probably gonna be. Man, please. They do what they want to do. See, for me, resident, I don't understand one thing. I'm not understanding. There's got to be some type of overall plan that nobody is saying. It's under the table and you don't see it. It's under the table. They're not gonna. You ain't gonna see it in the council. But I tell you this, yo. There's something going on down at that city council, y'all. It's something that I can see. It's something going on in that city council. I don't say if it's negative. I ain't say if it's positive. But there's something going on in that city council that they know. They know. You know what I'm saying? They know something. And council members, they be knowing things that you don't. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta kind of like watch how they vote. You gotta watch how they vote. Why they in the positions that they in? You know what I'm saying? Why they in the positions they in for a long period of time. So I mean, that's why I kind of sit back and just watch. And I make my comments here. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't really try to. You got folks up in there, commenting about this, about that, whatever their grievances. Look, they do what they want to do. But I'm not finna do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm very voiceless. Don't get me wrong. And I have no problem getting up there saying something. And eventually I will, because I'm waiting for this J-Train stuff to get over with. Because they're gonna get an earful from me. I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. If they ain't heard it by now on this podcast, they're gonna hear an earful from me about J-Train. Because J-Train's behavior is this right here. Is what's keeping the city stagnated. and they hollering they ain't got a budget for it. I look, damn it, I know they ain't got a budget for it. I hope Christina Welch hear this podcast, and I'ma hark on it until she do. I know that you guys don't have a budget for it. But where was the bread when they did? Where was the decision? Why the decision wasn't made when they did have a budget? Maybe if they had a budget for it, maybe we wouldn't be in this problem. I don't know. Look. For me, I ain't gonna even front. That stuff still, cause that paratransit meeting last week for me, let me tell you something. It bothered me. It bothered me, and I don't care. Like I said before, I don't care what Lee Cole say. I don't care what Dr. Crawford say. I don't care what none of them talking about. I don't care what none of them talking about. They got this bullshit with them. They got it with them hard. They got like, we don't want to say nothing to rock the boat type of bullshit. I'm telling you. Ain't no time for it. I ain't got time. I'm going to tell you how it is. You going to like it or you don't. And I know folks tired of hearing it from me. I'm asking about why them no buses going out to the airport. But they don't know. I'm trying to be nice about it. But when I send out that that notice, it's gonna be a wrap. Cause it's going to the council. The council, they can forward it over to Christina Welch. I don't care. I don't care. I'm totally aware that there's no budget. But where was the bread? Why gotta they make that decision when there was a budget? Why gotta make the decision when y'all made it? When Christina, when you made the deal with MV Transport, why that wasn't in the deal? Why that wasn't in the deal? Them songers came in there with talking about making route changes and all this kind of stuff with no cost to the city, but at the same time, they ain't nobody made a deal for a bus to go out to the airport, which belonged to the city of Jackson. Play with it. Look, let me tell you something. Don't let them fool you, resident. Don't let them fool you. Because this is what they're doing. They're playing politics and they're trying to play, and they're trying to fool folks. They're trying to play people like they're stupid. They're trying to play people like they're stupid. Here's Scott Crawford. Here's Scott Crawford with that sellout shit. I'm just gonna keep it low. I'm sorry I had to cuss, but I know I ain't gonna get monetized in a while. It's gonna be a while if I get monetized, but I'm gonna keep it real. And then here comes Scott Crawford with that sellout shit. Nah, fuck that. Look, forget that. I'm not trying to hear it. They tripping. They tripping because for the simple fact is that that's what's here Scott Crawford was complaining some time ago about how he had to wait at the airport for a long period of time for him when he got off the plane. And he said all he wanted to do is go home and lay down and go and take a shower and go to bed. Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. They should have had to make that decision. They should have made that decision when they made that deal. Yo, we need to get a bus out to that airport. That airport belongs to the city of Jackson. See, if they would have occupied that airport in that particular way, maybe the state wouldn't have never said nothing to it. Well, they got residents going out there now. It'll tie their hands on making the decision. Think about it. If they would have put that airport, if they would have put a bus out there to that airport that serviced the resident, right? the state would have been like, if we take over that airport, if they decide to take us to court, that would have made their case look stronger. See, I don't know what the hell they talking about. Yeah, share this video. Please share, because when I'm finna drop right now, yo, you need to share this video. Now, they went to court, right? 2 weeks ago, right? Okay. The judge got to make his decision, whatever the case may be, on this state versus the city of Jackson, right? Okay, cool. But had they had a bus going out there, that would have made Jackson's case stronger. Let's keep that real. You look, because look, ain't it form over substance? Or substance over form? Which one is it? It's form over substance, ain't it? They are already in the process of working with this airport. They got the buses going out there. You know what I'm saying? They should have a budget for. Okay. Okay. Now I'm finna say something that's gonna sound contradictory. I'm gonna say something that sounds real contradictory. I can see why the state's taking their asses to court. Took them to court. I mean, they want to take over. Because the airport gets a $3 million grant, right? They get $3 million. I think it's every quarter. I think they get a $3 million, and they're not doing. And according to them, that nobody's doing nothing with it. They're not doing nothing with the bread. But what I'm saying is this: some of that bread could have went to transportation. They could have allocated some funds to the budget, to the transportation budget, and paid them a little extra bread to bring them folks bring them folks out there to Jacktown, to and fro. Come on now, let's keep that. Look, come on now, and that'll make them look better. They doing something with their money. They doing something with their money's being allocated. Now, for what I'm hearing escalators and stuff needs to be repaired and all that kind of stuff. Well, maybe they will probably get it together now. But what I'm saying to you, what I'm saying here, is that what I'm saying here is they need to come out of the stagnation. They act like they're scared to do something. Okay, if everything else is done, what we talking about? If you can put businesses on that property and get the tax dollars off of it, that's what this is all about. And I don't care what nobody say, that's what this whole thing is about. It's tax dollars. Imagine all the tax dollars. You put a hotel up. You run them hotels up around that airport, man, and folks gonna get some bread. All these new people, you got all these, look, you got Lakeland Drive. You look at Lakeland Drive got all these new apartments and stuff going up. You know what I'm saying? You got folks coming in and out of the airport. That's generating funds. You got folks coming in for business, just coming into Jackson, Mississippi, just for business meetings. Folks going out of Jackson, Mississippi to go to business meetings and coming right back. You're gonna have new car rental places and places to park their car parking places. That's revenue, tax dollars. That's what this is all about. Ain't about nothing else. And the state want that bread. But what I'm saying is, if Jackson, Mississippi Council would get it together and they would have put a bus out there, they would have never had this. I don't think they would have ever had this problem. Ever. They would have never had the problem. They would have never had this problem. See, that would have solved the problem, and that would have created a problem from being created a problem from being created. See what I'm saying? That would have created a problem from being created. Tell you what I mean by that is that if they would have did that, well, that would have created the state would have been like, nah, we really can't do nothing because they got people that depends on that bus going out there, and they'd have to rethink it. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'd be like, we don't give a damn. Let's do it. Let's sue them. Let's take it over. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I think that they wouldn't have, because number one, if they took it to court, the judge would have probably been like, nah, we're not going to do that because we're servicing too many people. And then other decisions would have been made. We're like, well, dang, well, we could have been, you know what I'm saying, we could have partnered with them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could add it, maybe Clinton to the route, or, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Maybe Clinton, Ridgeland. And see, that right there would have, see what have happened, what I think. If that bus would have went to the airport, it would cause a trickle effect with service. See, that airport would have created a trickle effect, because now you got the surrounding cities. You got Ridgeland, you got Clinton, you got Pearl, you've got Richton, and whatever city, Byram. You got Byram, right? You got all those cities that's surrounding Jackson. Now, how many folks would need to get to the airport or get to those local cities from the airport, and they could use the bus? See? But you see, the problem, what I think, this is what I think. This is what I think. That would have created a problem with those cities because of them tax dollars. Who the tax dollars going to go to? Jackson. That's Jackson bus service. So now what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to say, well, let us put a bus inside the local cities and run the city, and we can share the tax dollars. Simple as that. Let's partner with J-Tran. Let's partner with the city of Jackson. And let's get a bus going out to these local cities. See, that airport, that's why they don't want to do that. I'm telling you. Because it's going to create a trickle effect. Hey, like and share this video. Yo, I'm telling you. Because I'm dropping jewels today. You know what I'm saying? This right here, real. It's real. So y'all gotta, pay attention to that. Yo, ask that question. Why y'all really don't want no bus going out there? Because they know what kind of effect it's going to have on the whole entire region. Because I'm going to tell you straight up and down, you got folks out there in Clinton and folks out there in Pearl and all those surrounding cities, they can't get out to the airport. It costs too much. If folks can spend a little whatever fee they pay for the bus to get out to the airport with their luggage, they outie. They out. No, hands down. Man, do you know what it costs for an Uber coming from Byram? You know what it costs with an Uber coming from Ridgeland? To just get to the airport? So you got a bus going out there, folks pay that little fee, it's a wrap. Then folks coming from the airport, where you going to? Just like Metro up north. You can call that bus before you even before your plane even land. You call that bus where you at. Look, I need a bus to come to the Jackson Megawati Airport and pick me up at such and such time. Okay, we can figure it out. Boom, boom, boom. And say, where you going? We going to Clinton, Mississippi. All right, cool. We got you. Boom. It's over with. Oh, I'm going to Byron, Mississippi. Cool. Got you. But see, what's going to happen is that if them buses going into them cities, where the tax dollars going? All right. Because when your plane drop, When that plane dropped in Jackson, at that airport, that plane dropping on Jackson property. When that bus comes, when that bus comes and it's sitting there waiting, where's it waiting at? On Jackson property. When that person get on that bus, when that person get on that bus and pay that fare, where them tax dollars going? To Jackson, Mississippi. See, but I'm going out to Clinton. I'm wearing, that bus is wearing and tearing on Clinton streets. That ain't fair. That bus is wearing and tearing on Byron streets. That ain't fair. See, that bus is wearing and tearing on Richland streets. That ain't fair. So tax dollars need to be generated. Okay. So now, what we gonna do? What you should have been done did? Put a bus out there and partner with these people and split the dollars. Split the dollars. Split the tax dollars. And all you gotta do, when they calling in, they going to Ridgeland, they picking up Ridgeland Depot. When they calling in, they picking up Clinton Depot. So the dollars is going straight to those cities. When they drop the money, when they drop the fare in the toll booth. Come on. It's going straight to them cities. Passing through, going straight to them cities. Jackson won't get a chunk, but it's going to be a percentage. Because they ain't going to be in there long. They just going to get a percentage of the tax dollars. And that's only fair. Yo, click like and share on this right here. Share it out, real talk. Run the likes up on this. Cause tell me, yo, leave a comment. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Yo, I just want to see the city move forward. You know what I'm saying? Yo. Well, that's it for me. I'm through. Plane landed. My plane is landed on this one. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to kind of throw that one out. You know what I'm saying? Throw somebody an alley-oop. I want to throw somebody an alley-oop because we need to win. And that's a win-win deal. That is a win-win deal. Everybody winning. But see, nobody want to do the paperwork. Nobody want to do the paperwork. And that's a shame. And you ain't gonna never have a tri-state area, you know what I'm saying, with this type of stagnation. Because nobody want to change. Everybody want to still be the same. But then yet they want Jackson to change. And then when Jackson want to change, they don't want Jackson to change. That's sad news right there. That's sad news, bad news. You know what I'm saying? Yo, leave me a comment. I'm out.